It's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Mr. Godala Arvind Reddy, whose work has positively impacted both the environment and society. Mr. Arvind Reddy holds a master's degree in computer science and has a career spanning over 20 years in the software industry, including 17 years working across various industries in the United States of America. In 2013, after years of working abroad, he returned to India to spend quality time with his parents. In 2014, driven by his passion for making a difference with the support of his family and like-minded individuals, Mr. Arvind has co-founded the Gandipet Welfare Society (GWS), a non-governmental organization which is focused on zero waste movement. Through GWS, he and his team established multiple solid waste management units across villages such as Gandipet, Narsingi, Kokapet, Aziznagar, and many more. In addition to their waste management efforts, Mr. Arvind and his teams have been organizing weekend cleanup drives, tree plantation initiatives, Musi River cleaning projects, and even the restoration of heritage stepwells. We are truly privileged to have him here today to share his insights and experiences with us. As we dive into today's interesting discussion, I would like to request the audience that our speaker will be taking the questions from you after the main talk. So please leave your questions in the chat box or use raise hand tool. So without further ado, let us welcome Mr. Arvind Reddy Garu to share his insights with us today. Over to you, sir.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Everyone. I welcome all the participants who like to know more about our Stepwells, and thanks to Vishwa for organizing this. Basically, I am from, as Radhika said, I am from Gandipet Welfare Society. It's an NGO for zero waste. So before we go into the presentation and details, I request Radhika and Rakesh to play the video, a 4-minute video to give the context of what we are trying to look at in the Stepwell.
Sure, sir.
And this Stepwell is basically one of the Stepwell which is in Secunderabad called Bansilal Pet Stepwell. We revived recently in 2022. So you will have the view and picture of the whole thing, what happened from start to end. Radhika, you should be able to start the presentation now.
Okay, sir.
Okay. As I said, I'm Arvind Godala from Gandipet Welfare Society. So today we would like to know more about stepwells, and most of the people already know what they are. They're basically symmetric um, structures which built inside the not under the ground to reach the water table. So these are basically India's one of the marvels, architectural marvels crafted to store life's most precious resource called water. So across India, we have many hidden gems of our heritage, whispering stories of bygone era. For centuries, they served as vital lifelines to the communities. Please go to next. So before I go into more into the stepwell's details, this is just a brief about Gandipet Welfare Society, what it is and when it started. So GWS is an NGO for zero waste, as we said before. It's founded in 2014 and with a vision where to process the waste right way to protect our environment in decentralized way. So, and as Radik already mentioned, we do in solid waste management, cleanup drives, awareness sessions, and revival of heritage stepwells. And today we have established and maintaining 6 solid waste management units serving different villages right from Gandipet, Kokapet, Nasingi, Khanapur, Vatinalapalli, Aziz Nagar, Mokila, and even we reached the Tamil Nadu, Kunur, Nilgiris area. And we restored, to date, we have restored 2 stepwells. One is at Bapugat and another one is at Bansilalpet, which you just saw the video. So next slide. So what are stepwells? Right. So as you can see in the picture below on the right side, so these are the structures built to access the groundwater. And especially India, we have built these where we had a scarcity of water during non-monsoon season, right? Especially in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan areas. So a lot of them were started building from there. And the main purpose is to have the water available to people throughout the year. Right? It's stepwells played a critical role in providing fresh water that's filtered through earth and it brings water through a underground aquifers. And it also connects all the tables of water tables where the aquifers and water resources which we supply the water will be replenished during the monsoon season, yearly 3 months, I guess, and then whatever is stored there, it will be available throughout the year in the area, especially where we have issues of water scarcity. And in olden days, these stepwells were mainly used for irrigation of crops, drinking water, and even for washing and bathing, right? And they also served as cool sanctuaries for pilgrims and travelers during the heat of day or overnight. So as I said, sepals were found in various forms, like those linked to agricultural land and mainly in forts, temples, and urban areas serves as water reservoirs. And right side, what you see is one of the Bauli most famous temple called Chand Bawari in Rajasthan. Can you go to next slide, please? Yeah. So we are talking about why stepwells, right? With India's water table were rapidly declining. So we think stepwell can help refill ground aquifers and harvest runoff. Right? So the way stepwells were designed in old days, there were many rivers, lakes, and to catch the rain from during the monsoon. They're built in various places which where one is to reach the water during scarcity and also to replenish it so that it is available throughout the year. And many places, the water tables are connected internally inside under the ground. We replenish it, it will we will get the chance to get that water back and we'll use for throughout the year. Reviving stepwells were enabled to reclaim their traditional resources and spaces for community life too. Right? So earlier, it was used as a space for the community socializing and stuff like that. And these structures not only functional but also aesthetically pleasing and making them a popular tourist attraction. Temples have social, cultural, and religious significance and stand as symbols of India's rich cultural heritage. And India created magnificent monuments with perfect symmetry, angles, balance, and accuracy without high-tech tools. They built temples. Can you go to the next slide, please? And this is the history of Indian temples. India is home to thousands of temples. Experts in India claim they documented 3,000 temples, but there might have been many more thousands lost undocumented. So this is a brief history of when it started and how they have upgraded the temples, right, and its use. From 3000 BC to 700 AD, temples were simple designs and primarily used for irrigation purpose and drinking. And later on, from 700 AD to 1600 AD, temples became more elaborate with intricate carvings and designs, and these became not just a source of water, also serve as a place of worship and social gathering. And from 1600 AD onwards, temples were built with modern techniques and materials such as concrete and steel. So temples were first built in southwestern Gujarat, spreading north to Rajasthan and then across India, including Maharashtra, UP, Karnataka, and Telangana. Actually, we even see some temples in Delhi, Kerala, Karnataka, things like that. Initially, a Hindu art form, right? Their construction peaked under Muslim rule from the 11th to 16th century. So basically, the Mughal emperors did not destroy anything. They preserved the stepwell culture and encouraged the construction of the stepwell. But while British authorities later replaced them with pipe and pump systems, citing hygiene concerns. Many were destroyed during the period of British rule from 1858 to 1947 after they had been deemed unhygienic breeding grounds for disease. Can you go to the next slide, please? So threats to stepwells. Sadly, many of these century-old stepwells, timeless wonders, are in peril, forgotten, neglected, and at risk of vanishing forever. So many of India's stepwells have been lost due to modernization, water table depletion, and development of modern amenities. Talk about modern amenities. During this time, stepwells were considered unhygienic and were replaced with pipe and pump systems, filling with debris. A lot of stepwells due to piping, boards, pump system, etc., and etc. The water table went down, and a lot of stepwells were dried, and they were being used as dump yards to fill with silt, vegetation, garbage, everything messed up there, and a lot of our tables today. At that time, it used to be within 30 feet to 100 feet of within under the ground. There used to be water. Today, we have to go to 1,000 feet to get to the water, and they did not realize the importance of the stepwell, what they were doing during the monsoon. They used to replenish the water table, and we were able to use the water. Now we lost a lot of things like that. And as you saw in the video, Bansilal Stepwell, whatever we started, it was at the ground, literally at the ground level, filled with all the dump, and people started using for staying there, practicers, and then parking, all that stuff, right? Like that, there are many Stepwells in the country who might have gone into the debris. And another thing is the lack of clear ownership. Many stepwells lack clear ownership and have been used for community events or dumping ground, as I said before. And urbanization and lack of funding for preservation. So feel it's a time to take action. And uh, fortunately, in the last period of government, they stepped up and started looking into the stepwells and started reaching out to the interesting people and CSR companies to support and revive the stepwells, lost stepwells. Can you please go to next step? Yeah. So here we are talking about some stepwells in Telangana. So as I said before, we talked about all over India 3,000, and we think there are many thousands which are lost. If you see just one state, Telangana, the officials used to say about there are like 42 to 100 stepwells in Telangana. But when a team from Hyderabad, a team formed by Hyderabad Design Forum, led by architect A.R. Yashwant Ramurthy, who conducted multiple surveys and discovered n number of stepwells across Telangana. After all multiple surveys and researches, we see there are 420 plus stepwells have been already identified just in Telangana. And at least there are 100 potential locations around the cities, like twin cities, Hyderabad and Secunderabad. And out of 100, we found 86 of them. And we think this number will expect to exceed 600 throughout Telangana. And there are two stepwells, as I said before, we revived. One is Bansilal Pet. One is at stepwell at Bansilal Pet, Secunderabad, and another one is at Bapugad, Langarao. Please go to next slide. So here are a few other stepwells listed just for your information. These are only few of the 400 which we mentioned before. The Sita Ramachandra temple in Ammapalli. There are a lot of them for you to review. And one of them is like, another one is like in Qutub Shahi Heritage Park, there are 6 stepwells. One of them is called Badi Bauli, 400-year-old one. And most of these stepwells are like 300 years plus. Please go to next slide. So this is one of the stepwell we GWS took into hand to revive it. We got a request from HMDA and from previous government, Arvind Kumar and KTR. And as a prestigious, we are in a solid waste management, but this is a challenge task to us where we have no idea of how to revive and who to work with all. But we had a lot of interest to take this project, and then we did a lot of research. We pulled a lot of different architects and then artisans who are specialized in these kind of stuff to revive. And then we worked together and made this possible. And this we have done in December 2021. We successfully revived, rejuvenated a 300-year-old Sarjahi era stepwell. This stepwell is located near the Sangam of rivers Musi and Isi. I don't know if you all know where is the Musi and Isi start. And Musi is basically the Usman Sagar. It's a river, it's a dam which is to protect the flooding. They have built a dam in Usman Sagar. That's a part of the Musi River. So whatever the water comes out of the dam floodgate, Musi starts from here. And there is a parallel from the Himayat Sagar. Uh, there's a small dam there too, and when that filled, when the gate floods open, the EC River starts from there, and both of these meet at Bapughat. Bapughat is a place in Nangaraus where our Mahatma Gandhi's ashes were brought in there and then um, were put into the ground there. And if you see here in this picture, the leftmost, actually, there are many pictures we have, and this picture, what you are seeing is already leftmost, is already a lot of cleaning is done. Basically, we were not seen any of the steps in that Stepwell when we first went there. All we see is there are three layers of uh, the building, and we only see top one layer of the building, and rest all were filled with uh, dumping materials, plastic, paper, mud, concrete material, you name it, everything is in there, right? So from first picture to second picture, you see a lot of cleaning was done, right? And then you see the bottom of it where water, before it was no water, everything was with the trash filled. Now after cleaning, the aquifers were cleared, and then water were coming back again, and that was very clear. And then you can see on the rightmost how much it came, right? Like we were able to see second in the second picture, you see all the three levels. The second picture, after water filled, one end of floor is already is underwater. This is before picture. Please go to next slide. So after revived, you can see the difference, right? So we, for this restoration, we have used the same material what was used during that time to build the structure. We have taken the layers from the wall, the material were inspected and found out seven different variety of materials were used, and this was again, we made the same material, same motor using the artisans where we used from Karnataka. A lot of people came from Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, multiple states across the country who are skilled in these. We reached out to them and they helped us in building the structure, reviving the structure with the same material. And this has no paint or anything, it's all lime wash. And you see the rightmost, you're only, when it is in the season, it's completely full. And while we're reviving, we found some turtles inside of it, and we preserved it outside. And once everything revived, once the water is there, we brought that back and we put it in there. Can you go to the next slide, please? Radhika, are you there? Radhika, we can't hear you. And slides also gone. I don't know if you have a power issue or something. I think meanwhile, let's give a time for them to get back. Okay, got it. So, so as I said, this was like a after picture of the Bapugat Stepwell, and we took almost 282 days with a lot of effort from various skilled labor and architects. We are able to revive this, and today we do maintain as well. And most of the projects GWS does, we we do revive it, and also we maintain it, because a lot of them we have seen is they have revived and left it, and again it back to the square one. It became the same as before, and so we maintain the Bapuga step. Go to the next slide, please. Yeah. So this is another stepwell, which you guys saw the video. So here in the leftmost picture, what you see, it's already a lot of cleaning and opening is done. You see the top layer, whatever you're seeing in the left one, right? That is at the ground level. So you can imagine how much waste was dumped into it, right? This stepwell is also called as Naganakunta, and this can hold 22 lakh liters of water, and it has a depth of 52 feet, right? This used to definitely used to serve for irrigation and a lot of drinking water those times around that area. And the left side, if you see it, middle picture, and it's half of the structure were open. When we were opening, a lot of structure were already damaged. Left side there were pillars, and right side most of it were broken or fallen down. And we have taken very carefully. We have cleaned, so the pillars, the stones, all the tools, whatever they've used is not damaged, so that we can reuse and rebuild it. And anything which is broken, we have made it outside the same material and try to match the color of the granite as close as possible and fix those things. And if you know about stepwell, right, most of the stepwells have one vertical shaft where water can be taken easily. All other sites has symmetric designs, have access to the stepwell to go down all the way to the down. And rightmost is almost like 80% was cleaned. Can you go to the next step? Next slide, please. And again, this was, we have taken that project in 2022. And here in this stepwell, we removed a debris, more than 2,000 tons of garbage was removed. So you can imagine 2,000 tons is a lot of waste, right? So that was removed to get to the complete uh, cleaning of dump, and then bring back the old stepwell back to life. And today, this also we maintain it from 2022. After revival, we are maintaining it, and we have people who are there, and it is open for visitors to go and see. And it's the best time to go in the evening, so you can see in the when the daylight and the nighttime lights are on, both can be seen. And we also open for heritage events, like people who want to do some music or something like that, that is open to rent also. Go to the next slide. So we have seen how India used to have a lot of stepwells, and now thousands of stepwells came into the hundreds, and now they are in a very bad shape. And from our side, what we could do, we have revived two of them. I don't know, future we might take more to do it, but my take is we like to encourage more individuals to participate in preservation efforts. If you see any hidden or abandoned stepwells anywhere in your surroundings or known things, please bring that to the people or organization, and try to participate, volunteer in its cleaning efforts, spread the awareness of the importance of the stepwells, and restoring stepwells will help us bring back our water table to below 100 probably. Because when we did the revival of the Bansila stepwell, we tested all the bore wells surrounding at what level the water is. After revival of the step well, when water is filled into this one, right, we have seen 10 to 20 feet of water were raised in all the bore wells. We have, I think we have checked around 20 bore wells around the area. So that's a good sign. And if anybody interested in these things and like to know, yeah, please reach out to me and I can direct to the different how you can help us and help Stepwell to get back to their previous, right. And also encourage people to visit the already restored Stepwell, so to have a feeling of it and to enjoy the beauty of it, right? So next slide. And thank you. Please let us know if you have any questions and answers. I'm open for.
Thank you, sir. That was really fantastic work from you and your organization, as well as other organizations who has took part in Stepwell restorations. So before we move on to Q&A, I would like to request the audience to take 30 seconds to answer a quick poll. And the purpose of the poll is to help us get to know you better so that we tailor future topics that we bring to you. And I would like to thank our speaker, Mr. Aravind Reddy Garu, and to all the participants who have took your time and participated in this session. I thank you all. Yeah. And while you fill out the poll, yeah, we will start with the Q&A session. Take a few questions from the chat box, sir. A person is asking, is it not the work of archaeological department to fence the stepwells and protect them from dumping garbage?
Yes, that's true. And but it all depends upon the funding available to them and the politicians and government interested to give the time. And I feel uh, majority of them will be saved in anything. It's not just only Stepwell or how we be protecting our environment or how hygiene we have to be. It's a major part is the people. People have to step up because they have to keep surroundings clean. They have to respect the importance of the structures we had in the past. And uh, people, if they come forward, a lot of things can be achievable. But if we leave a lot of things to government, it's not possible.
Okay. Rajni Agarwal is asking, is Banganga tank a stepwell?
Which one, sorry?
Is Banganga tank a stepwell? From Rajni Agarwal.
I don't know which one is that one, but usually as a stepwells were used as a reservoir. There are places where they have like a few steps to go to the stepwell. Majority, the many of them in temples, when you see, there's it's called as gundam or something, right? People take bath, holy bath and stuff. So they have very lot of places as a small few steps, maybe 20 or 30 to reach to the ground. But later on, like it's not only as a reservoir, they also have a lot of to reach to water table during the monsoon seasons as a non-monsoon seasons, as I said. And they were built uh, so beautifully. The architecture is amazing.
Okay. So we have Mr. Shmuel who has raised his hand. You can unmute and ask your question, Shmuel.
Yeah, thank you very much. a very fantastic and interesting presentation. I too very interested in the subject of archaeology, and I want to ask you a next question. How you see the future of restoration stepwells? How you see the future of restoration water heritage of India?
So if I understand right, you're talking about the importance of stepwell, how they help in the future. Is that right?
Yeah. How you see
Okay.
the future of restoration stepwells in India?
So,
Yeah.
I don't know if I understand right. You're talking
He's
about,
asking what is the future of stepwell restorations in India?
yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
again,
this is
as
my
I said,
question.
okay. Previously, there were, as I said, a lot of them were lost. Today, when with the government interest and funding receiving from various big companies for CSR and individuals who are interested, because I have seen through multiple of them where individuals took by themselves to revive, right? And then after that, maintaining it. So different organizations, different private interested people, and the government also with their support, we have revived many, identified many, and revived many. So with this pace, this continues, we could definitely bring at least majority of them back to the life, and that should help us in building our water table, and we may not have the scarcity of water throughout the year. These all are revived and well connected. Does that
Yeah,
answer
thank you
your
very
question?
much. Yeah, thank you very much. And I have another one short question. I want to ask you what government and authorities of India do for restoration stepwells and water heritage of the country.
So I think government are working with the private, working in a private, public-private partnership model, and they have their teams. Like as I mentioned, one of the team was HDF, Hyderabad Forum, Design Forum, led by Yashwant Garu, and the teams like that who are government is working with them, coordinating with them, and these guys are getting funds from various, some from government, some from private, and that's how they are getting back to the life.
Thank you very much.
And I'm sure like previous government, many governments are interested these days. Even today, the new government also looking into the stepwells to revive more.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Shmer. We have Miss Sujata Muttana who has raised hand. Ma'am, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you for a very useful presentation on the stepwells. This is something that has been of interest to me. I have two questions for you, sir. The first one is, um, who owns the stepwells? If it is within a private property or something like that, right? Who owns the stepwells is my first question. The second question is, would there be a list of stepwells in and around Bangalore that we could go and visit? I have a background where I come from the hills, and so water restoration is very important for us. And to use an approach where restoration of step wells can be done is something that I believe is going to be beneficial for everyone. Otherwise, a lot of people only depend on the water that comes from the source. Here, in this case, I'm talking about the Western Ghats, I'm talking about the river Kaveri and the birthplace, which is where I come from. So there's a lot of dependence out there. So if they start looking at restoring step wells within the Bangalore area, that would be very beneficial. Hence, that second question was: is there a list of step wells in and around Bangalore? The first one is, who owns the step wells,
Yeah,
wherever they are located?
yeah.
Thank you.
So all the heritage, monuments, mountains, and under the ground below 30 feet or maybe 20 feet below, everything belongs to government, to be frankly speaking, right? And even if it is, see, there from like in the when the rulers, kings, and who were there, they had a private temples, all of them, but they all became the the tourism department owns it. It's a part of a government. There could be some stepwells who privately owned, privately maintained as well, right? And stepwells can be at many levels. The one which we see is a big one, which is mainly used for like a lot of people. But the one at the Bapugat is a small one, which might have been used by the queens of during the Muslim Mughal ruling time, right, for their bathing or whatever purpose, and park maintenance, things like that. And the when I was talking about the stepwells, which are like the bigger structure has more um, symmetric and a lot of steps going down, and there. But if you see the stepwells and wells have very few steps to go in. But if you have the stepwells and wells, there are many around many states of the country here, right? But anything private, which is uh, similar structure, small, probably owned by private and maintaining it. But I still believe that belongs to, at any point of time, it belongs to the government. And your second question, talking about the stepwells around Bangalore. Actually, as I said, like the Gandipet Welfare Society, we started with solid waste assessment, waste management, and this one is our out of passion to it, because we are protecting environment. We took up the project. We know some, but there are experts and teams who know a lot more about it, like rainwater project and the HDF team. We can definitely give the contacts of them, and then you can reach out to get more details. And they are definitely listed in many places. On websites, we will find only few important ones, but not the complete list. The complete list will be definitely available through those teams. Does that answer your question? Hello? Okay.
I think I'm getting muted. Yes, it answers my question. Who do I reach out to get this list of step wells that have been restored and the step wells that need restoration around Bangalore?
Okay. So I can connect one or two people, and they should be able to help, because they know more about in Telangana, but definitely they know outside of it also, because tourism department should help us and may give the more contacts around Karnataka region.
All right. Please do let us know how I can reach out to you, sir.
Sure. Sure. So
Thank you.
please take her contacts and let me know. I'll share the details to her.
Thank you.
And is there any website link that can provide the stepwells links, sir? What are the
There are
stepwells?
many. I myself search on a Google when you do it. There are a lot of links which I can try to share to you, and then you can share to the participants. And we have GWS has a website where we have only details of the wells which we revived. But there are many others which I will share the link. You can share with the participants.
Sure, sir. And there's a question from Ashish Nagpurkar. Is it not dangerous to have tall buildings next to stepwells?
Yes, it is when, but if like if a chapel is already lost and people are building without knowing the details of the is there a stepwell under it or not? Yes, it will. But usually when the stepwells are built, um, they are symmetrically, whatever the material they use, right? They bond in such a way that the land won't slide inside, right? If you saw the picture of the Bansilal Pet or the one at Rajasthan or Gujarat, right? The popular ones, they all like symmetrically all connected. There are no gaps. There's no way ground can push those stones inside because the way they build those structures, it won't push the land. There won't landslide won't happen. And also the most of the stepwells inside, more than the aquifers, more than in the soil, they are more from the rock around it, right? So I don't, but definitely they should maintain certain distance out of the stepwell.
Yeah. This is a question from Nabina Shrestha. Is there a risk of poisonous gases in the stepwells?
Uh, if it is dumping is everything is done, yes, it's all poisonous, right? The waste material which is land polluting. When the lot of dump is dumped in one place, obviously in inside of it, the chemical reaction will happen and poisonous gases will be keep happening, right? That's the reason we should clear all that and maintain in right way, right? The same thing happened with the dump yard. Not only just the stepwells who are filled with dump, right? Anywhere on the ground, these like many places, right? People dump everywhere. On the way when they go, they just throw onto the road, right? When that pile up, obviously chemical reaction starts and started polluting the land with the leachate and also start polluting the air because they get burned. People will throw some fire or maybe through the sun it gets catch the fire and it gets burned. Poisonous gas will be into the air. Yes, when we try to clean these 2,000 tons from Bansilal Pet, yes, we made sure a lot of precautions to because the workers have to go into the deep and clean slowly, right? So earlier we used machines, but those machines meaning JCB and earth moving trucks, but that could damage the structure. So we have used only at the very top layer, probably 2 3 feet or stuff, and later on we mostly it's all removed by especially ladies mostly because they are more careful than men, I feel, and a lot of debris was removed that way. But yes, we have given a mask and try to see as much as open when they clear the stuff and way to open how to clear the debris from which side. All those precautions were taken while cleaning up.
So, what other challenges did you face while restoring stepwells, sir?
Yeah, I guess my three key things is funding. Second, the surrounding, wherever you find the stepwells, most of the time these days, people might have built other structures around it, and they might be causing some issues. Thinking of reviving this might they lose because they might have encroached or whatever legally might have done. So those kind of problems we'll see. But in a case of Bansilal Pad, we faced a similar issue. People were all saying, oh, okay, this is some so okay, we may lose our buildings and all that stuff, and government will take all that stuff, right? But we have talked to government officials, we talked to the people, we made sure that this has been there previously, nothing is going to change, everything will be there. In fact, we restored all those buildings surrounding the stepwells, and we painted uniformly across the stepwell all the buildings which were surrounding to give the good look for the wells and them. Any other?
Oh, very interesting, sir. There is a question from Sanchita Mahanta. Sir, can you please throw some light on the sacred elements that are associated with water bodies in general?
So it's very important, like especially in Hindu culture, most of lot of things, any pujas, everything starts with water, right? We clean, I would call as achamanas, and then Surya Namaskars, everything goes through water, right? And unfortunately, we are polluting all the water bodies everywhere after plastic was invented. But that's important because water is the most precious thing for any living being on the earth. We have to take care of it. And our temples and pujas, everything is built around it, connected to how to take care of our environment, water, and people, everything, right? And our temples were wherever they are built also, it's they chosen very the place how they chosen is like a person who goes there can peacefully spend there, have a kind of meditation when you go there and stay for a while and come back. You free up your mind and come with a fresh mind. Because the water body used to be there, and the temple how they structured and which where it is facing. Because the science that time is called as Vastu, right? They used to follow all that, and then that the structures how they built and the direction how they used to do and how air should flow and where should be water should be. All those used to help uh, our living and how peaceful we can be.
So we have Shekhar Raghavan who has raised his hand. Sir, you can unmute and ask your question. Yeah.
Sir, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Good
I'm
afternoon.
from Chennai. See, these stepwells are identical to our temple tanks,
Correct.
and to some extent our open wells at home.
Right.
Except that the stepwells are at the macro level. So that is one observation that I just wanted to make. Another is, it is my strong feeling that they would not have been used for agriculture. Because agriculture, generally, when you talk of these cherus, it is all gravity flow.
Right.
Whereas what is the way a stepwell will feed the agricultural land? At least I have not understood.
You are right in a sense because during monsoon season, during that time, the rains were timely, and then lot of agriculture depended mostly on the rain. But there are areas where water is completely like a, I don't know if you talk about Tamil Nadu, Chennai, or like a Hyderabad in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, states like that. Maybe seasons were like they used to do 2 to 3 crops, right? But if you think about Rajasthan, Gujarat, in the places where it's only one crop in a year, right? But these step wells used to help them mainly for drinking and some of the irrigation also, because daily uh, whatever the, like vegetables, anything, things like that, whatever they used to do. Not as big as during monsoon season, but in the off season, they used to help a lot. And we have seen in multiple places, because why we are very sure about it is because there are stepwells in the farm fields, like in only irrigation areas. There's nothing around it. There are stepwells in temples. That's for a purpose. There are stepwells in the parks to maintain the park, and they also stepwells which were built only for I don't know, called royal family or some rich or like rulers who use for their women, right? They are used for various kinds, depends upon its size and stuff. But if you see anything big and it is outside, it is mainly for the people. A lot of people around who are not affordable or go right, they can all use this place as a socializing and then for water.
I
Does that
think
answer your question?
he got disconnected.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, there's a question from Mr. Akash Babu. Isn't it penny wise and pound foolish that the rate at which we are overusing and abusing water from ground and recharging at very little through step wells? Is it sustainable?
That's a very good question, and it is very important as well for a lot of people to think about it. Today, according to government or any experts, the individual needs 150 liters of water max per whole day, but people are using more than 300 liters or more, or 500 liters, right? That's not good. And due to urbanization, we are building all concrete areas. That's the reason government is like if you see the lot of geos given by government, they all have given a guidelines what to be done when you build a house or when you build something else, right? But implementation is the issue. The government can't enforce or enforce in every area. People have to know, because when you build in a house, you need a water. You need to know how to replenish your ground table as well. That means if you have a rain harvest pit, for example, if you have 300 yards of plot where you're building in a house, you have two earth harvesting pit, water harvesting pit. That will definitely help big time, right? That way, many places it should have. And olden days, when you see it, there, I would say, just taking the surroundings of Hyderabad and surroundings, right? There used to be around 7,000 lakes, ponds interconnected. How many we see today? Not even 2 digits, right? Because people encroach it, illegal, whatever bad stuff we do, and we basically messed up the whole table. And even in Hyderabad today, even for the drainage system, Nizam has built a big pipeline. What are we doing today? Right? We are not messing up. We are throwing a lot of trash into it, and it's all blocked. So it's I think it's a character has to be built by people, and they have to think inside house, outside house is same for me, because if you are keeping it clean inside, outside also your own thing, you should keep it clean. Water also you use it, you also have to harvest it. You have to find the ways to how to harvest it. So it's a per house, per community, per city, per town, everywhere you should have all these rain harvest pits, which should help.
So Shekhar Raghavan is back, sir.
Okay.
Sir, you can.
Sir, one Mrs. Kalpana Ramesh is doing some work in reviving stepwells in Hyderabad. I suppose.
Correct.
Yeah. So you work together or you work separately?
Yes, we used her in both of the projects, because Bapughat project, she had a team, she has a contact, lot of them. So we used her in pretty small in Bapughat, but Bansilal Pet pretty much she initiated. She approached us. We showed the interest and we funded it. We spent 2 crores for Stepwell from GWS to revive it, and GWS mainly whatever they support. It's not just funding. We also monitor. We'll spend with them, and Kalpana Ramesh, yes, one of the key lady there who initiated and took all the way to the end. Her specialization is in rain harvest. Her company name itself, Rain Harvest Project. She has definitely involved in many stepwells around, and she has a lot of details around stepwells in Telangana.
Yeah.
And she is also
I'm not
works for
against reviving stepwells. Hello.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, I'm able to hear.
Though
Please go ahead.
I'm not against reviving step wells, are they really relevant in water management as of today?
Yes, definitely, I would say, because
In what way?
those.
In what way?
So mainly, see, urbanization and not having the step wells, how we are harvesting the water. We need to see the water is running off on the ground to the rivers and to the ocean. We need to capture it. We have to send back to the ground so that it naturally filters and provide a good water to us. Right? We have to fill the table.
No, I don't agree with you, because in Chennai there are no step wells, but we still harvest our rain and our water table is come up to ground level.
So you have the rain harvest, right?
Yes.
So that is
But
helping.
without
In
step
the same
wells.
way, what we are saying is the step wells, we are not saying to build new. It's too expensive these today to do it, right? So that whatever our ancestors who are or have done, that's a great marvelous structure which helped all these, right? And having one step well per village or like multiple villages, it will help. And we have seen that in small villages where we revived. They used to have a problem to go water, right? If you don't have rain harvest, you don't have wells, and these step wells, when we revived it, they don't need to go too far. They are using those step wells now, right? That water, and it's the table when water table increased, they got water back into their private wells as well. Some places.
Yeah,
Definitely, it's no harm.
we did it without step wells. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, without step well, I'm saying we are not need to build step well because the water harvesting is happening. But the use of step well has multiple things. It's not just one is water, right? For many people. The second is socializing and the structure, the architecture, how we are built. That's in Egypt we call pyramids are their things, right? In India, step wells considered the same to pyramids. We give that importance. It's our um, uh, very important thing to our Indian culture and heritage.
Yeah, it may help tourism.
Yeah. So you also know the temple, right? Temple has Gundam and all that stuff. You have those are small steps. How they used to maintain before. And example, we have one temple in Silpuru area, which was abandoned. Nothing was there. Once we cleaned up, there's a water now. So it's good to have that.
Thank you.
So were there also some geographical factors where the stepwells were built?
No, definitely, because that time not having modern technologies to identify where the water table and how the geologists like we call today, but they have more better way of recognizing. I don't know how they know how they used to, right? And they all the stepwells where they built, I don't see anywhere they built which has no water when they start, right? And in the same way, temples everywhere where they have done, they pick the right place. They know the underground how they found that. I'm not expert in that, but yeah, definitely they have a knowledge how to find where it is and where to do the step.
Right. So before we take a few more questions, I would like to talk about our upcoming talks for 2 minutes. So we have another talk on innovations to address climate change. And this talk is by Sharada Kalavapudi, who is CEO and founder of Dharmavana Nature Arc. And this talk is going to happen on 16th November, that is upcoming Saturday at 11 a.m. And the next talk would be from waste to resource, how communities can lead the way. This talk is by Sheetal Parmar, founder of Gandipet Welfare Society. This is on 23rd November 2024. So both talks are on environment, So whoever is interested can please register. The links would be in the chat box. Yeah. So we'll continue with the Q&A, sir. There's a question from Rajni Agarwal. Are stepwells recognized as heritage property by UNESCO? Do they receive UNESCO funding?
Yes, so the one which UNESCO identifies, and then yes, they have funding from UNESCO for few of the stepwells. The one which is at Gujarat and Rajasthan, they have UNESCO funding too.
Okay, only a few stepwells are recognized by UNESCO.
Yeah,
Okay.
they might
There's
know a
a
lot, but their funding may differ. The people who take initiative and how they reach out and how they get it, all that, they may not get full funding, but yeah, this may get some part funding.
okay. There's a question from Adil Desai. Aren't some stepwells also built around natural water springs that may have been blocked due to garbage dumping or depleted due to the groundwater level going down?
So that's what it happened. Like depleted is there because the level water table went down because when we are not replenishing them, obviously table will go down. You're drawing out the water, but you're not putting the water back into the ground. That's the reason it's happening. And another thing, what he said is like the dumping of waste of construction or any kind of waste throwing into this kind of, yes, they do block the aquifer. And I think the two stepwells we revived and many stepwells revived by others, all of them which are in filled with dump, and you don't see water. Out of 100, probably one of them may have some water seeping on the top, but majority of them are blocked. That's the reason you don't see the water back. But when we are cleaning also, we were looking for, okay, once we're cleaning, is that aquifer, can we able to find those aquifers? So we are cleaning all the directions everywhere, and then luckily every place we have cleaned, we did find more than one aquifer into the stepwell. After cleaning the block, removing the blocks only, the water got started coming in and then fill the wells.
I somewhere heard that a few stepwells are connected underground. Is that true?
That's true. But we haven't explored ourselves to go inside that, but we have heard like multiple places from fort to the stepwell. There's a pathway underground to go in for queens and people. That's what they used to say. And also I heard one from Golconda Fort to, there's a Gandipet Maisamba temple. Behind that there is a Shiva temple. And under that there is a passage which is blocked by government. There are a lot of people say that there's a passage. The passages are almost 2 to 3 kilometers, which reach to the stepwells or something else. There are.
Very interesting, sir. So we have come to the end of the question and answers. So before we close the session, I'd like to thank all the participants who have joined today. And for more information on Stepwells and Gandipet Welfare Society, we will share you the information to your registered email IDs, and speaker contact details will also be shared. And please take a moment to subscribe to Wishwatalks to get alerts on new talks, events that we conduct. And you can follow us on all social media platforms. And so I request you to join in the breakout room link that will pop up on your screen. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for taking your time to grace